everybody. Welcome back to Ventthis. I am Chris McGarian, and I'm again here with Paul Roseberry. Hi, Paul.
Hey, hey. How we doing, Chris?
We have a very exciting show today. It's called Are We Really Better Off? And those vents that are from that title come from our very special guest. This guest is a retired parole agent. He's a comedian, he's an actor, and he's an author of 3 books. And I will name those titles: Straight Fish, Vivian's Reign, and Isla Vista Halloween. And he's also a mental health advocate and a dad. And we are really proud and very happy to have Mike Knox here on our show. Hey, Mike.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I have to ask you, the titles of your books, can you explain at least Straight Fish I can maybe get. Vivian Reigns, I can get that too. But Isla Vista Halloween?
It's Isla Vista, because Isla Vista at University of Santa Barbara. So I lived in Isla Vista for 5 years. They have a huge Halloween party. It's now changed. They've called it something else because they had like a mass shooting, which I knew was going to happen anyways. Put a bunch of kids together in drugs, and that's what happens. But I lived there for 5 years, so I wrote a book about the Halloween in Isla Vista.
Wow, okay.
It used to be a big event. I don't know if it still is or not.
And a retired parole agent.
Yes.
Well, you're the first parole agent I've ever met. I don't know about you, Paul, but I've never met a parole agent before. Have you?
I can safely say I've not. I feel a little question of my past in that implication there. No, I've not. Thank you.
Yeah, only if you've been to prison would I come around your house. So
there we go.
You're all right.
Wow.
Unless I've met one and didn't know, Chrissy.
They try their hardest not to be known, and unfortunately in the community, really. So, and nobody really knows the difference between probation and parole. Parole handles the prison, probation handles jail. That's the difference. The sheriffs are the ones that run the jails, and the prison is run by correction officers. So they work for the state. So and they don't communicate really with each other also, which is. There is so much humor within that place because there's so much stupidity going on.
Wow.
And again, it's like the Kruger-Dunning effect. You give incompetent people power, and they just abuse it. And a large reason why I left or retired was I had to get out of there for my own sanity.
Is that when you became a mental health advocate, or was that before?
Well, I say mental health because my daughter has epilepsy, but I think that mental health plays a lot because I would meet so many, people in the community. I worked in South Central for a long time, and I met so many people that they were so afraid to talk about epilepsy, and then my department wouldn't even register it as anything medical. And it deals with your brain, and it deals with mental health. And if your brain's not working, you're having mental health problems. So I would meet so many people that were on my caseload that had epilepsy. They were having seizures. They were having mental health problems. It kind of goes hand in hand. But again, none of these departments did anything about it. It was one thing with the police departments. It was you're drunk. Whenever we would encounter mentally ill people, they were kind of just laughed at. And you're arrested. You're not really, the longest you could put a 24-hour hold on somebody, but you had to go get a doctor to go do that. They could stay 3 days in a place, but then they were kicked back on the street. So it was this huge cycle that I was always seeing it's drugs, mental illness, but those are the 2 factors why we have such a huge homeless population in Los Angeles.
But this might sound like a kind of a wacky question, but do these people know that they have epilepsy? Because if an officer or a parole officer arrests you because they think you're acting, strange, isn't there a way to tell them, look, I have they
don't care. I can say this because I worked law enforcement 23 years, is that the cops get in a zone, they don't care. And a lot of that has to do with you worked in an institution. I worked in an institution too. So everybody's an inmate. Then you get out on the street and you're still treating people like they're an inmate. So I had taking my daughter rushing my daughter to the hospital, got pulled over by the police, and he thought that my daughter was drunk and she was 5. So you're just dealing with so much incompetence, and none of these law enforcement places are trained. It really comes down to laws that need to be changed. So we need epilepsy laws. We also need mental health. So that's why, again, I say mental health. That resonates more with people a lot of people just don't want to recognize epilepsy, even though it's been around over 4,000 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you told us all of this because I was not aware of that. Because if I was, on the street and I saw somebody get arrested and they were acting strange, I thought perhaps they might be drunk. But in fact, they're going through a seizure and you don't even know, and it's horrible. So,
Yeah, I met a guy I did comedy last night, and the guy came up to me after. He's like, "I loved your routine. We used to, my dad never wanted to pay for the ambulance, so we would just kick him in the stomach when he had a seizure." I was just like, that was horrifying. And he was like, "Oh no, it was okay." And I was like, "Okay, I guess it's a blessing then. I don't know what else to tell you."
Kick
But
him in the stomach. That's
yeah, that's
wild.
what he did to his dad. And I meet so many people where they're afraid to talk about it. It's a crisis for the family. They're embarrassed of it, whatever it is. Older generations, of course, or, if you didn't have insurance, you don't want to pay $100 for the ambulance. I get that. There are other times where even I called 911 and 911 said having a seizure isn't a medical emergency. Drive her to the hospital yourself. So again,
Wow.
it's humans. It's human, you just have to kind of shrug it off because you're dealing with so many, we all have we all encounter people that are kind of doing the similar things. It's just that people just don't care. And
where were you doing your stand up?
yeah, I was at the Barclay the other night. So
Barkley?
a friend of
Paul's a
mine,
comedian too.
it's in a restaurant.
Okay.
It's in a restaurant, you said?
Yes, in Pasadena.
Oh, nice. What restaurant?
Barclay.
Oh, Barclays. What's the name of the show? I wonder if I might know the guys.
It's Ruben. I can't remember Ruben's last name. Sorry, Ruben. But I know Ruben from comedy. So
Yeah.
he was running the show.
A buddy of mine just did a show in Pasadena the other night at the Mix. Have you been to the Mix?
Yeah. Yes, because everybody was going to the Mix after that, and I had to go home.
How about that? Yeah. Small circle. We'll have to connect after.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Comedians you're a rare breed of people.
The best. The
Well,
best, to be
You
clear.
didn't let me, yes, I was going to say the best too.
No, I just helped you with it, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But you have all these stories of you're on stage, you make it or you don't break it, but you sort of stick together because you know what it's like to go through all of that, but you still put yourself through it because it's your calling. And I think your guys are just tough and rare, and I couldn't do it. If you paid me, I couldn't.
You're more
do
of a
it.
comedian than you know, Chrissy.
No, I'm
You
right
don't
now.
realize what I said there. You don't realize what I said, but it's great.
okay.
Well, I think it's great therapy. It's you're going up there talking about your vulnerabilities. And one of the reasons that I do it is I have a voice for my daughter for her epilepsy. And, I don't make fun of epilepsy. I just talk about all the crap that we've been through, for the last 18 years with it.
When I was a kid, we had a lead paint problem in our house and we didn't know. My sisters got very sick. And also our family dog had licked a patch on the floor, on the wood floors. There was a lead varnish on the floors. We had no idea. So she'd sit under the couch, lick the floor. She had licked it clean. She actually took the stain out of the wood and she became epileptic. And
Oh,
so I
God.
remember, severely. And, it's a dog, not a human, but nonetheless, I remember when I was about 5 years old and I saw a grand mal epileptic seizure, and it was disturbing for a 5-year-old kid who had no idea this was coming. The dog fell on her side, all four of her legs going at the same time, her head foaming at the mouth, and the head going-
Jesus.
Oh, it was absolutely terrifying. I remember at my grandmother's house, I think my mom stuck her finger in the dog's mouth so she wouldn't swallow her tongue. And that was, we had no idea. That was the beginning of us learning, we got a real problem here. Like what the hell is going, and
Not sure how to get into our first vent.
yeah,
from
right.
that.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show?
Exactly. Exactly. But I love this first vent because it was Mike's idea about, I'm going to throw it to you, Mike, purchasing or using Amazon as your way of buying stuff. What do you
So
think?
I think a lot because I don't like to interact. The more I interact with having to buy something, the more I just want to be at home. Or I don't like Amazon, but at the same time, I'm drawn to it because of the fact that every time I go out to go talk to somebody to purchase something, it's always locked up or it's out of stock. I can't find it. I can't talk to person. I have to sign in first to their iPad usually. Had to do that today. But they've got to scan something, then they've got to get they always want my email. They always want, then I've got to round up, and donate to like CVS, which I don't even think it's a donation. It's just I'm donating to CVS. I don't get that either. Then I have to like put in a CAPTCHA or something to prove that I'm not a robot. And even though I'm standing right there and I'm just trying to buy beer, I'm not trying to cure cancer. I just want my alcohol. And that's why I did figure out I can order alcohol from Sam's Club and it'll be delivered to my house. For me, the more I venture outside, the more I want to stay home.
I hear you, man. I interact with society. I was telling my wife the other day, it's more of like an observational level. It's more it's a lot like when you watch Animal Planet,
Yeah.
and you observe the gorillas in the wild and you're like, "Oh, wow, he can like peel a banana. That's crazy. He knows how to do that." Like that's how I feel when I watch people. I'm like, "Get out of here. That guy opened his door all by himself. Look at that shit. No way." That's like I don't see myself as a person, apparently, in many ways. Maybe that's psychologically dissociative, and even that I'm fine with. I see good reason for that. So
It's just
Yeah,
like the other thing. I'm going to interrupt you because the other thing that kills me is you've got these places that are like today was we don't take cash, but there's other places that take cash, and it's like just this one place now is this cashless society in itself, but
yeah,
they have a tip jar that has cash in it, but they don't take cash, and then they're mad at you if you want to offer cash. It's like this attitude that they have towards you that they're going to take out their entire life. Their boyfriend left them, so they're going to be pissed off at you today because you took cash out of your wallet. So I'm like always, it just gives me anxiety trying to buy anything now, which is why I go to Amazon again.
if an attendant ever gives you a hard time over that, just to really psychologically break them in half, you can let them know, hey, look, you don't have to give me the attitude. The reason you have a cashless job is because your owner doesn't trust you to touch
Oh,
cash. That's why it's cashless, because he doesn't want to be here. He wants you to do all his work while he does none and he gets all the money. And then he thinks you're a thief. So I at least had faith in you. I at least trusted you to take my greenbacks. But hey, you know what? Enjoy your relationship with the guy you'll see every day.
Yeah, so far they just hate me. So
Yeah.
I just did not say anything.
I think as
And
long
as
as you
Gary
go,
said, they don't get taught math.
and if you
brutal.
don't care, if you don't care if people hate you, then
No, that's happened my whole life. So that's nothing new. Yeah.
everybody hates you.
More of it's not hate. I just think it's more of I don't I've always let I lowered my standards a long time ago. I don't have coming into anything. I don't really have standards for anything. So I don't get upset about it. It's just, I always find myself, like with I think I was just buying coffee when I was in Utah last week, and I was just buying coffee and it was the cashless society thing again. And I just made like a joke about it. And she was so pissed that I had made a joke. And I'm like, I just, why try? Why talk to people? I don't know.
I just want to say, I know what you mean by lowering the bar. I mean, this is going to sound kind of gross, but it just happened to me the other day.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. I'm at Ralph's. Okay. It's in the afternoon.
Such a woman
There's a
of the
guy.
people.
What, Paul?
Oh, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. I said, you're such a woman of the people being at Ralph's. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
And the guy between two cars was going to the bathroom, number one. And I was looking at other people, and people are just walking by, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this must be the norm because nobody's saying anything, nobody's looking. There's a man urinating in a parking lot in broad daylight, and people just roll their carts.
I
Okay.
will take the cashless society over the urinating.
Well, and that's where I've come to realize, like when you get to stores like a Whole Foods, which they've gotten better in a lot of their pricing now that they have the 365 brand, they're actually, you can mix and match, or pick and choose, whatever. But part of that premium you're paying for is just that. It's to not have a crackhead sprawled out in aisle 6. It's to not have some guy peeing between two cars. I literally, Chrissy, I referenced that because as I started mentioning before, I think part of my sort of brand with comedy moving forward is just that I'm openly better than most people. And I provide comedy for people who want to join me in that, you know, like it takes a little bit of effort. There is a reward for being better. We've tried to make it so that everything's watered down so everybody can be included, everyone can be involved,
Yeah.
everyone can understand. But what that does, it takes away the reward for those of us who work, those of us who try. And I do bring manners. I bring some decency, a little bit of class. And I don't, as you might know, say, pee between cars at Ralph's. So I'm better than that guy. I am. And you have to pat yourself on the back. It doesn't feel like you should, but in today's society, you got to remind yourself, yes, you can say, because you're raised as a kid, don't ever say you're better than somebody. You're just having a better day, or they're just having a, no, he's peeing between two cars. The hell with that guy. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what would have to happen to me in some Trading Places movie where I'm peeing between the cars at Ralph's, but I'm going to say I'm not there. I'm
Thank
raising
God.
the standards.
Okay.
The inmates used to always yell at the prison guards when I worked in a prison. They used to always say, you know, we're no different. We're exactly the same. And I would say, no, you committed a crime. That's it takes a lot to go to prison. It takes like 20 arrests to actually get to prison. It takes a lot to get there. It's not just a one and done thing.
Yeah, we're not the same. Like literally, we don't even have the same outfit or freedom. I have a gun. You have a spork.
There's no guns allowed on the floor though in prison, just so you know.
Oh, how about that? Interesting. Did you ever get into the show The Walking Dead?
Yes.
I did. Yes.
I mean, it was a while back, but what I realize is that I feel, and I don't know if, you know, cause you were saying that you've lowered your standards at, you know, at times in life. And I feel I've done the same. You know what? I'm liking it to, remember in The Walking Dead, they had the walkers, you know, the zombies, and they would eat you. That's all they want to kill you and eat you. That's what they want to do. And then there's you, who's not a zombie, you know, a reasonable, arguably reasonable person. But the way they figured out how to live among the walkers, you remember, you had to grab guts and blood from a dead zombie, and you got to rub it all over yourself. And if you guys just stay covered in zombie guts, then you can walk among them, and they'll just think you're one of them. That's what I think a lot of us have had to do in life. I think a lot of us have had to go, oh, if I walk out the door as me, these ghouls are going to eat me. But if I just cover myself in the guts that these fools are walking around in, and I speak in their language, you know, then I'm a free man. But at some point in your adult life, you got to go, you know what? I'm washing the guts off. The hell with this shit. No, you know what? No. I'm just going to go where there aren't ghouls, and I'm going to live a gut on the face free life. I'm all set. No thanks. I don't have to speak. And then, because then next thing you know, you come home and your wife asks how you did. You're like, well, I saw down by the, you know, bus stop, and he said, and you're like, what the fuck am I talking about? Who am I? Who am I anymore? I just had a whole conversation about 3 conversations, and like no. At some point, you got to stop peeing between the cars and be a man.
Most people aren't really thinking about their life. They're just kind of following everybody else, and we kind of follow what we're told to do, and that's what it is. You see, you know, trash all over. You know, it's like I'm getting a ticket the other day, but if I, you know, for parking my car for like 5 minutes while I run inside, but if I had a broken down camper that I was living in, you're fine, don't worry. So it's just
100%.
Everybody's not on the same page, and so you're seeing all this kind of chaos going on, and so you're thinking, well, I guess it's okay. Everybody else is doing it.
That camper is the proverbial guts and blah. If they had seen you were one of them.
That is meth.
That is.
This is why we.
You ever heard of that? It's called crocodile. You ever heard of that drug? It's big down in Florida. It's the one where they like it erodes their skin so you can see the bones. Google it. It sounds like crocodile, but it's like with a K and there's no L at the end. Crocodile.
We went from wanting to buy on Amazon to flesh-eating diseases to
Full circle.
what?
We're going full circle.
Yeah.
Circle of life.
It's the best ad for Amazon. To his point, to Mike's point, this is why we order Amazon, because you open the front door, you see what's out there, and you go, ugh.
Yeah, no,
Just leave it at
I
the
had a coworker that refused Amazon, and I was just like, it's just they've got me. It's too easy to, or I can click,
yeah.
I can do whatever they want. I don't. They've got me. That's the drug. That's my drug. I mean, pretty much my addiction.
I agree with you, Mike. I resisted when it first came out. I was like, I'm not going to get on this bandwagon. This is ridiculous. You order online. What a pain. And then I saw how convenient it was with the Prime. Like you see something, you can have it tomorrow, like maybe 2 days, most of the time tomorrow. And you're like, for real? And then you realize the pricing really does reflect a lack of retail overhead. So it's like, God, it's cheaper and it'll be here tomorrow. And I don't have to get in the car spending money on gas, sit in traffic, walk in. Like, wow. And then when it really got great was when I realized, that the return process was I could just take it usually to Whole Foods. So I'm going to grab a couple groceries and I just drop off this return at the count. They've, like you said, they got me. They got me.
And that
I mean,
return is pretty crazy. Like you can go to pretty much anywhere to return it. It's just like, where does it go?
you want to know a little inside scoop too? I don't know if this is like widely known, but I learned it one day and it helped me last week in a pinch. So sometimes if an item, I don't know what the metric is for some reason, a lot of times it's size, but not always. When you go to schedule your return or set up the return, Amazon Prime will tell you, instead of this doesn't go to Whole Foods, this you got to take it to a UPS store. And you're like, God damn it, and we haven't had a printer in forever. We really don't need one. So now I got to go to Staples and print out the printing label. I got to have a box. Like it's a real pain. But if it's a smaller item, that scan code will often still work at Whole Foods. So if it's less convenient to go to UPS and it's not like like a car seat, some massive box, you might pull it off. A lot of times they're interchangeable codes. So
And you can get soup at Whole Foods.
soup, what like the prepared soup?
Yeah, prepared soups. Yeah.
Well, but
Good
Mike,
point.
that's not all you can get at Whole Foods. What are you talking about?
I know that there's a lot.
likes
but
the soup.
I'm also
He likes the
traumatized. There's usually like a lady doing yoga in the aisle, and I just want to get aspirin, and she yells at me that they don't sell aspirin there. So I stay to that left side, which is the soups.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know what? And as you mentioned, the soups, we won't go on forever. Chrissy's ready to move on there. But not only do they sell soups, Mike, do you ever partake in the individually wrapped by the pound cornbread that they sell right next to the soup?
Oh, I'll have to try that
It's a
out.
pretty legit cornbread. Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
You
It's,
pay for it, right, Paul?
well, yeah, I don't steal it in my
Well-
in my shirt or anything.
Not
But yeah,
urinating.
yeah, no, it doesn't come free with the soup if that's what you're asking. If you pee on it, it's yours.
Okay. Enough of the urine. I think we should move on to the next vent. Mike, I like your next vent, which is all about we need an app for everything in life, and it's absolutely annoying. And I absolutely agree. The other day, to give you an idea, I didn't know. How do you know that you have to download a parking app? Did somebody?
Oh,
I mean,
Oh,
I never knew you had to download a freaking parking app, and I'm parking in Pasadena, and I'm like, I'm going, oh, you need to download the app. I'm like, that's it. I'd rather walk 40 miles before I have to stop, download the app, do a password, and move on. It was,
I just take the ticket now.
yeah, exactly.
but you're right. With the app, not only is it a pain in the ass, you have to download an app, and then it's not super transparent if the transaction is complete. You always feel like, what if it's not recognized on the other end? Then I'm gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna have to fight it. I'm never gonna win. I'm gonna lose 5 hours of my life lowball, and I'm still gonna pay the ticket, which is $70 because people can't just give a ticket in proportion to the infraction, which is, oh, I ran my meter by 30 cents, so I should owe you $70. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But the thing with the app also, guess what else you get into when you use the app? The old convenience fee. Yeah, you're paying more than the posted rate for that parking meter because you're using the app, and the app guy has to have his hand out as if he's not charging the city. They're charging the city for use of the app, and then they're going to pass another expense to you. And what's really great, because I'm a total psycho and I get pissed off by stuff like this, the tickets, when you get a ticket, it doesn't go to the city of Los Angeles. It's a third party. They've subbed out the entire meter management to Xerox. So Xerox brings in over $100 million a year. This is 20 years ago. It was over 100 million. It's probably double that by now in tickets and street cleaning revenue. And what is it? I have no idea what the city gets from it, but I'm sure it's a bureaucratic drip of 3%. They now have your cell phone from it. Yeah, of course. Gary's pointed out. Now they have your cell phone. So yeah, I actually, I had an acting teacher who I liked him. He was a cool guy. And then one day I heard him say, he pointed out, yeah, then they also charge you an additional fee when you use the app. And I was like, you have no idea how much more I like you now. Just knowing that you know that and it pisses you off, I was like, that's my boy. We're cool.
Mike, let's hear your gripes.
Well, they're taking out all of the meters, so you can't even carry change or use your credit card. And what kills me is I saw it. I got their sign, and I got it on my phone, and I got inside to where I was going in Burbank, and now my Wi-Fi doesn't work. So I've got to then go find the Wi-Fi of the place that I'm at.
Ah,
To try to figure out, because they're not giving me any instructions of how I'm supposed to pay for this thing. So I was just like, I give up. You can tow my car and I'll take an Uber home. I don't care anymore because this drives me friggin' nuts. When I went to the dentist the other day, they changed the valet to that you need an app, and I got out of the car and there's no warning to it. I get out of the car. The guy's like, oh, you got to download the app too. And there's all these cars like behind us. The guy in front of me is refusing to give him the information because he doesn't want them to have his phone number. I'm just like, they've stolen everything already. What does it matter? They all have your information. They can get it whenever you want. It's on your phone. What's another app? I don't know. I've got 49 of them on my phone. I can't figure out any, my voicemail. I still can't figure that out. I don't even know.
So your dentist has a valet.
The dentist that I went to was, I was going to a podcast that was in a dentist's office. So I just wanted to
see.
Chase.
And
but it had a valet because it was in Westwood.
Sure.
And, you're in a parking structure like 5 miles down. So when I get in parking structures, I start to panic and have anxiety because I feel like I'm in a coffin.
yeah, me too.
Now there's this other element of you got to download this app. So I'm just like the anxiety, like I'm like,
yeah, 100%.
bleeding to death because of having so much anxiety. And I just want to hand the guy my phone and run away. And again, I needed a Wi-Fi. My phone wouldn't work down in the dungeon of this, parking structure. So the fact that you're relying so much on phones that, I have AT&T and that thing never works, and they outsourced everything to the Philippines. So I can't get a hold of anybody, and I have paperless. So I don't have any proof of any like bill or anything like that. I can't get a hold of anybody to change.
Oh my God.
We're kind of like in this vortex now of apps, and we're like living in these apps that are charging us every month.
Mike, you're giving me anxiety, for God's sakes. Just listening.
Need to give it away.
Out.
Much of it.
That's when you just leave the car and drive and step out of it. Just see what happens. It's going to be over there. It's over there. Go grab it. I'm out.
Well, that's why I like the driverless cars. Like I can just step out of there whenever they crash, whatever, I can get out. It's not my car.
Yeah. I guess the human margin of error is probably down in the 60s. So if a driverless car is 97 percentile, I guess it's still a win. So
I think I'm the only person I know that likes having not that I ever take Ubers, none of that stuff. But if I did have to, or a taxi when I used to live in New York, I'm the only person I know who likes talking to the taxi driver. It just sort of relaxes me to sit in the back car and go, hey, so how's your day? Where do you live? Oh, you're from Queens? No kidding. I'm downtown. And I'm sitting in a car now nobody's driving. And I'm like, now what do I do with myself?
You can have the same conversation.
What?
It's the app option. You can have a driver that talks to you or not talk to you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I think it could be the same conversation, Chrissy. I think you should just pretend there is someone there and see if you really notice a difference. I don't know how well versed. Maybe we could join the enemy and we create our own app, and it's the driverless taxi conversation ride app.
Hey, that's a great idea. You press a button and let's say and it's a Waymo, and you go, oh, this talks about a book. You press that button.
You get a Filipino. Yeah, a Filipino will talk to you about the book. Hello, Miss Chrissy. Thank you for calling today. What book would you like to talk about in your driverless ride?
What, Mike?
That's a good app. I just what I think is crazy is on the on the Tesla app, you can make your car driverless if you pay like $12,000.
I
You
know. I don't have a Tesla, but I know.
have the 12,000, but they just switch it over, and now your car's driverless. That's insane to me.
I agree.
You know what I'm waiting for, and I wish they would take my suggestion on this. They'll increase the sales by a lot. So you're saying it's 12 grand to make it driverless. For anyone who's on the fence, make it 15,000, put a little more time into the programming and give it a DUI mode, anti-DUI mode. So then you can get lit up, plastered, and then the car will let you try to drive. And then it just goes into corrective mode. So you see, like you start off doing it, but it navigates like, oh, maybe that's a little off to the left, but we'll bring it in a little bit. So it just corrects your, sloppiness. And when you get home, you get a score. Instead of like, oh, I blew a 0.12, like, no, I drove a 93.4. You know what? I was too drunk to drive. I'm glad I had, drunk pilot. But interesting. I was pretty good. And then, then when your wife wants to give you a hard time, she can be like, look, honey, I checked the app 3 times in the last week. You got a score of 58. Jesus Christ. You didn't hurt anybody, but you could have killed people, and you have a problem. You got a real problem. Yeah, you got to lighten up, hon. The car and I believe you've gone too far.
It would be so nice because it's like I've got to watch, my wife drink while I'm sober because I'm the sober driver for everybody. But it's like when people are telling you just have another drink, don't worry about it. Now you got the driverless car, you can get as drunk as you want, and that car's going to drive you home. I think it's great.
Yeah. And it's that intermediary between like, instead of just putting it on autopilot and you just sit there wasted, like, no, you see what you would have done. You know what I mean? Maybe it gets interactive and it's like you scored 3 trash cans and a mailbox. You gotta, what? It was a rough night. If it's like 2 double yellow lines by a foot or less, you're like, all right, it's a good night. But if it's like, you would have maybe killed a family of 5. Like, you know what? It's time. And we're going to set you up. We've actually auto calendared you an intervention. You're going to meet with a therapist on Thursday. I think it'd be great. I would buy it.
Through the DMV.
Huh?
What?
Be a program through the DMV. So rather than you having to install that thing that you blow the alcohol content in, you just have a drive car from now on. So
yeah. Oh yeah. You wouldn't need that. I mean, I've never seen one, but I mean, I've heard of those. Yeah. When you have to have the state install a breathalyzer in, that's
3 DUIs. You have to have that installed.
Oh my God. Yeah,
you're the
really?
parole guy.
And you're getting your kid to blow into it because you don't.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Tesla could fix it. They could fix our problems.
And your relationship with your kid, who doesn't have to know.
You don't have to know that you're wasted.
Terrible. Well,
we got one more, Chrissy?
What?
We have one more?
Yeah, we got one more. Another one of Mike's that I absolutely love. It's Mike, you start this one off about the appointments. About, go ahead.
Oh, I think it's just the making appointments with somebody. Like I'm an introvert, but I want to be an extrovert, and I just feel like appointments have all changed. I think it's coming from the generation I was at, but it would be like I was taught be 15 minutes early. You'd rather be there. It's respectable. And now it's like you're getting text messages from people that they're like, I'm on my way, and then you get another one that says, I don't think I can do this. I'm having a mental breakdown. I didn't take my medication. By the time you actually do meet them, which is like 2 years later, you kind of forget who they are and you're kind of reintroducing yourself to them. So you really didn't know who you're finding new people if you do get to meet. But like I used to chalk it up to like Hollywood because I had a friend that said, hey, we'll meet at Father's office in Santa Monica and we'll talk about, comedy. And I was like,
I've
great.
been there.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
So I text him, hey, I'm on my way there. And I text him again and I said, hey, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. And his response was, I'm on my way to Washington, D.C. I can't meet you today. And I'm like, why even try? Why try to meet people in person? We'll Zoom.
What the hell? Wow.
That's
I feel like the appointment things have changed because of the phones. It's changed. And then we're talking through, phones and devices. So it's taken out that we're actually talking to a human being that can have a response. It's like turning into these keyboard warriors that, want to threaten people and then not realize that there's actual people, another live person on the end of that, that line that you're ranting to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, I always meet a friend and we go walking. So I always get there early. I'm like you, Mike. I'm trained to go early. That's respectful. I'll get a text, leaving my house. Okay, I'm glad you told me. A lot of traffic, running late. Okay, thank you. Almost there. I'm like, okay, one more text and I'm not going to walk anymore. It's like, I'm here, I'm here, just show up. I agree with you. It's just we've gone, I don't know what we've gone. Text crazy, I don't know. It's nuts. I agree with you. Oh, look who's
We
here.
got a little cameo from Little Sweet Pea.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
how sweet. Hi.
Say hi,
Oh,
Sweet
she's
Pea.
smiling.
Yeah, she's smiling. She loves it. Look, that's you, Peanut. That's you.
Hi, Pina.
She loves mirrors. She's
Oh
so
my God,
and the cameras already. She's like I guess they all do. It's like part of the DNA now, but
Oh,
yeah,
she's
she
got
decided to
more
make a little cam.
hair.
Yeah, her hair grew back. She doesn't look like the bald guy from The Office anymore. Now she's a full-on little hairy little baby. Hairy up here anyway.
Oh my gosh. That's a great way to wrap the show up to look at a gorgeous baby.
Oh, why thank you.
Oh
Why
my
thank you.
gosh. Mike, this has been so much fun. You are a pleasure. You're hilarious.
Yeah.
And like Paul said, you do look like Nicolas Cage, a younger
Does he not?
version
Does this guy
of
not look
Nicolas Cage.
so much? Yeah, I mean it's a good
Unbelievable.
thing.
You're
Yeah,
better
it's
looking than
uncanny.
Nicolas Cage, but you've got,
And severely better hair. You got much
yeah,
better. Nick Cage would trade for your hair today. He would give up 3 blockbusters
I think he's
for that head.
bald.
I believe he is, but he wears a good headpiece
Yeah.
because he does it the right way. He doesn't go for this like Armenian hairline.
Hey, 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 I'm
Which is not,
Armenian.
yeah, and it's cool. It's what every guy wants. The hairline that almost touches the brow. But look, it's maybe a little too forward on the Armo. But Armos have great hair, unless they have none. But he goes for that like mid-head hair. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you don't totally. Did he have that last time? You don't fully remember or not. It's subtle. He just creeps it in a little.
This has been great. Thank you so much, Mike. You got to come
yeah,
back. And next time you're when you have a show, a set or something, stand up, open mic, that's comedian jargon, whatever that is, just let us know and we'll show up.
great, because I always need 3 people. So
Hey, Gary's comments. Yeah. Are we doing comments today?
No, I didn't get any comments this week, but I will plug our episode phone number, our show, 818-570-2535. Call us, leave us a vent. Thank you, Gary. Look us up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're in your face. Just look at us. Listen to us. That's it. Paul?
I'm speechless.
Okay.
I'm aghast. Yeah.
All right, you guys, you take care. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
you.
Bye.